Hello friends, and welcome to another episode of Making Poor Decisions, where today I'm going to be putting my cattle battle mead into secondary. Today I am going to be putting my cattle battle mead, which is the mead that I'm entering into the Mead Stampede competition. This mead is kind of interesting because what they did, or what the creators of this contest did, is they gave us a list of ingredients, and those ingredients were pears, chai, and vanilla, and told us to make a mead. And whatever mead comes closest to that they created, they being doing the most Feywood mead and man-made mead, whatever one comes closest to their recipe, or at least the way that their mead tastes, wins. Now, it's a really cool idea for a competition because we really don't know what they made and don't really know what to do in order to get it to taste the way that they have theirs taste. So what I decided to do was make a mead that I just wanted to make, something that I think would be really tasty. Whether it's going to taste like theirs or not, time will tell, but this is going to be the first mead that I'm entering into a competition, so I'm excited to try it nonetheless. Now, right now what I'm going to do is give her some time to breathe, and then I'm going to test her ABV. Now, I can't quite remember what she started at. I'm really bad at checking my notes before I make my videos, but I'll put the starting gravity and then the gravity that I get today in this area here. But more importantly, let's just see what she tastes like, and we'll take it from there. Now, I wasn't really shooting for a high ABV for this particular brew, and one of the reasons why I don't want it to be too high is because the higher the ABV, the longer it takes to age out and to get tasty. And since this mead is going to be judged, I believe, in July, and it is now, hi friend, it is now February? So this is only going to have another 5 months to age, and it still needs to go into secondary and things like that before I bottle it, which really isn't a long time in the mead world to have your mead age out and for it to taste good. So the lower the ABV, the better, at least in this particular scenario. Now, if it's a higher ABV and it takes longer to age and I get a tastier mead down the line, that's fine. I'm not even really too concerned with winning this particular portion of the competition. I just thought it was a fun idea, and I really like the flavors of pear and vanilla and chai. So even if I don't win and I get something that tastes good, well, that's really all that matters to me. Now let's take a look at this reading here, and it looks to be about, oh boy, 1 point, what are you? 1.03 maybe? 1.03. I'll put the video up here. But maybe just over a 1. Maybe it's 1.01, something like that. So I'll put the calculation, as I mentioned, right here. I'm not too sure what the current ABV is, but let's get this poured into glasses and give her a taste. Okay, so I did my calculation. My original gravity was 1.102. and I'm now sitting at approximately 1.01, which is giving me an approximate ABV of about 12%. A little bit higher than I actually wanted. I was kind of shooting for a session mead, but this is what I got. 12% is actually kind of low for what I make anyway. So I succeeded in making a lower ABV mead, just not as low as I wanted. But 12% in 5 months should be okay. But let's see, let's give her a taste. Now, she definitely smells like pears. Not a lot of honey up front. Very alcoholic taste. She's only, what, 3 weeks old? So that's about right. It should taste like alcohol, but maybe a little bit of pear at the end. Definitely a lot of tannins in this. I'm getting that like pucker at the end, like your tongue sticking to the roof of your mouth almost. It's good, but does it taste like pear or vanilla or chai? Because I did use vanilla chai tea in this. No, it doesn't, but that's why I have some additives to make it go a little bit further today. And what I did was I got some chai spice from my chai element, and I have 1 cinnamon stick, about 1 ounce of green cardamom, 3 pieces of star anise. I shaved some nutmeg, probably like 0.1 ounces of nutmeg. And I also have maybe about half an ounce of allspice berries. And what I did was toasted them to bring out their flavor a little bit more. And the way that you toast spice is you put it into a dry pan and you get that pan nice and hot, put it over about low to medium low heat, throw your spices in and just zhuzh it for a while until they start to get a little bit smoky. Cinnamon stick too, I don't know if I mentioned that. 1 cinnamon stick. Until it starts to get a little bit smoky and your kitchen smells like Christmas. And it just helps to bring the flavors out a little bit more, gives it a bit more of a depth of flavor. It's the way that I like to make chai tea if I'm getting like really bougie and I want to make my own chai tea. That's the way that I do it. Then I'd stick them in a spice grinder, but for sake of purposes, I'm gonna leave these bad boys whole and stick them into my brew bag. I also, for my vanilla element, I am going to be using Nielsen Macy's pure Madagascar vanilla paste, vanilla bean paste. And I'm not gonna measure it out. I'm just gonna do just a glug. That's a glug, right? That might be too much. Smells good. Time will tell. So I'm gonna put this over my brew container now. And then finally, I'm going to be adding some pear element to this. And I have about 15 ounces of organic pear halves in their juice. And I'm just gonna add the whole can in because, get out there. Really didn't get too much of a pear vibe from what I tasted of this. And it really wasn't that sweet, and I was kind of hoping for a sweeter mead for this particular brew. It's not something I typically go for, but I think with all these spicy flavors in the pear, a little bit of sweetness can go a long way here. Now I'm going to rack it. And I'm gonna see, and I decided to go for a wide mouth container because I decided to use a brew bag this time around. I think it should help me with some lease at the end, so when I'm getting ready to bottle it, what am I doing? Wrong end, Salerno. When I'm getting ready to bottle it, I won't have as much dregs because I'm anticipating the pears are going to dissolve some, and I just don't want to have to deal with mushy gushy dissolved pears when I'm getting ready to bottle this, so I don't have to put it into tertiary. I'm anticipating that the brew bag is going to help me a lot with that. Also, I have some shavings of nutmeg in there, and I don't necessarily want the nutmeg shavings to be loose in the brew, so to speak. So I'm going to let this siphon out, and I'll be right back once it's all done. Okay, so now we wait. I have a pretty full container here, but a decent amount of this volume here is filled up by the brew bag that has my pears, that has my spices, it has a little bit of vanilla in. So when it's all said and done, I'll probably have about like this much product left. Now I did have a decent amount of waste. I have some more liquid in here. But I didn't want to add it to secondary because I do want this to clarify. I'm gonna be perfectly honest with you guys, I'm gonna be really surprised if I get a clear brew with this. Now, I did use mostly pear juice instead of water, so I mixed my, I think 2.5 pounds of honey with mostly pear juice, with just topping it off a little bit of water at the end. And that pear juice, it was organic pear juice from concentrate with a little bit of, I think, ascorbic acid to preserve the color in it. So it was all natural stuff, but pear juice is naturally cloudy. It almost looked like pear cider. So it was cloudy from the get-go. So I'm not really expecting a super clear drink from this. I do want to help it along a little bit. I'm hoping for at least a little bit of clarity. To have a drink like this isn't that bad. To have a cloudy drink at all, it's not the end of the world, but it's just not my preference. But I'm thinking if I don't put all of this milky, lacy mead in there, just help it out a little bit more. So I'm sitting at about 12% ABV right now. I see some activity already. As soon as I put the cap onto this, it already started bubbling. Now that could just be natural degassing. I don't really anticipate fermentation start kicking up again. But before I bottle it, I'll test the gravity again just to make sure. So as I mentioned before, I think I started at 1.102 and I'm sitting at approximately 1.01 now, maybe 1.02, which is giving me an approximate ABV of about 12%. And my gosh, these neighbors are so loud. Met with our realtor today, and they're like, what's one of your goals? A quiet home. Need someplace quiet where it's just the two of us and not a gaggle of children upstairs. But anyway, I will see you guys next time. Thank you so much for watching. If you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you like this channel, here's my spiel where I ask you to subscribe. Appreciate you guys taking the time to watch me prattle on about mead. Thank you again, and happy brewing.